Ball tracking is one of the most important parts of developing a consistent forehand, but as you might already have found out, it's also one of the hardest skills in tennis. That's why in this video, I want to help you to improve your ball tracking by explaining why it's so hard and teaching you some drills that you can start to work on to address the underlying problem. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, it'd be great if you could give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, really appreciate it if you could do that as well. So we're going to be doing some drills to improve your ability to track the ball through to contact, but in addition to working on these drills, you're going to need to prioritize it within your training. Where most people go wrong is they try and work on too many different things all in one go. So they're working on their split step, their unit turn, their racket drop, their wrist lag and snap, their contact point and their follow through. And because they're working on too many things, they don't have enough focus left over to watch the ball through to contact. So the way it works, our brains can only cope with so much information. You need to choose one or maximum two things to work on at any one time, and you need to work on those things until they're a habit. And the way that I approach things with my own game when I'm adjusting my techniques is I work on something and watching the ball through to contact. So that's always the second thing that I'm working on, but then I max it out there because we simply can't cope with too many things all in one go. So we're going to be breaking our drills down into two different parts. We need to train our visual system because there are a lot of different visual skills involved in ball tracking, and most players' visual systems simply do not work well enough. So we need to train the eye movements so that we can effectively track the ball as it travels towards us. I'm not going to go through that part here because I've created a free program to help you with that. I'll place a link up there and I'll place a link down in the description so you can get this free tennis vision starter program to start to train your visual system so that you can play better quality tennis with higher level ball tracking. Because the other side that we need to work on is more of the movement and coordination side. So we need to train our ability to coordinate our body rotating in one direction with our head rotating in the opposite direction. And we also need to do a lot of work on our balance system in our inner ear, because in order to be able to watch the ball through to contact as we're moving around the court, it actually presents a lot of challenges, because normally we're walking in the direction that we're looking, whereas now we're going to be looking in one direction, moving in a different direction, and then kind of rotating and doing all this strange stuff that most people's bodies find hard. So I want to show you a series of drills to work on that side of things. First one's nice and simple. I'm just going to place the racket down. I'm going to be looking at the camera lens. You can do this in front of a mirror at home, and then you're just going to be trying to keep your head roughly pointing in line and just getting used to rotating side to side. So I'm rotating, driving through my hips as if I would be doing when I'm hitting a forehand. So I'm just going to kind of rotate from side to side and just get used to my head moving in the opposite direction as my body. So that is going to be the first drill. Now we're going to work on a series of shadow swings aimed at improving your coordination and training your balance to help you deal with the kind of challenges of tennis. Because moving in one direction, looking in a different direction is a challenging thing for a lot of people's balance system to be able to cope with. So we'll start nice and basically, just doing a forehand from neutral, starting off at slow speed, but just emphasizing keeping your head still until you finish the stroke. So I'm just going to be keeping my head lined up with that contact point until I finish the stroke. And then you build up the difficulty of that. So there I'm going slowly, then I'm going to start to swing a little bit more quickly to get my body used to my head rotating in the opposite direction to my shoulder. Once you can do that at a reasonable speed and feel comfortable leaving your head in that position, then you can start to add in a little bit more dynamic movement. So now I'm going to side shuffle into the ball because often you have to step in. So we're just training the ability to do that. And as I do that, I'm just leaving my head there. And now my leg is pivoting around. So getting a little bit more realistic, because your system at the moment might really struggle at looking through there as I pivot and still keep my head looking in a funny direction. So we're building it up slowly, training your system to be able to handle it. And then we're going to do the same thing from open stances. So start just with a casual open stance, just getting used to rotating my body in the opposite direction to the head. Then start to increase the speed. And then start to add in additional movement. So it could be in the form of side shuffles. It could be in the form of a drop step with a crossover step, but just building up the speed and your confidence in the ability to maintain that head stability while you're moving in different directions. And then of course, add in different diagonals. So what am I like when I'm dealing with a deep ball? That's normally a challenging movement because now I'm moving backwards rather than sideways. So work on that. Same thing for your inside out forehand. Just work on your ability to keep that head stability. So nice and simple, but this can be very effective. And if you combine them into a 3-prong attack, we're making a focus on it in our training session so that when we're playing with the ball there, we're really trying to watch the ball and line our head up through contact. You know, some people try and watch the bounce, some people wait till the ball's bounce and they kind of skip from just in front of the bounce to just after the bounce. I don't want you to worry about that for now. Just try and line your head up through contact and keep it there and see what happens. And then by training the visual skills, the different eye movements, and training these movement patterns to get the coordination, the combination of all three is going to help you dramatically improve your ball tracking. Now with this sort of thing, it can take a little bit of time. To develop a habit, it can take thousands of repetitions. So it won't be a case of, yeah, I'm going to focus on ball tracking for 2 weeks and then it should be fixed. I'm going to go back to something else. It might take several months of thinking about nothing else. But obviously taking the time to do that is how real learning takes place, because then you'll develop the habit, you'll have the visual competency, you'll have the coordination, and you'll have the habit. So you'll just be able to do it way more effectively within point and match play. So hopefully you have enjoyed the video. A reminder about the Vision program, links down in the description. Any questions or comments about what we've talked about today, I would love you to leave them down below, and I will catch you next time.